All right, welcome back to the chat, man. I'm sorry. I swear to God, man, I've been sitting here thinking this thing was live and it wasn't even live. I'm like, what is wrong with this chat, man? What's going on, Adrian Vent in the building, man? How you feeling? My man Viva 2 Vita says, salute Martin, ready for this boxing conversation, and salute to the chat. Ready for this knowledge. Blessings up with Dwayne Jones. Yeah, man, sorry. I was actually having this conversation amongst myself for like the last 5 minutes. And I was like, how the hell ain't nobody in this chat? And then I looked up and I hadn't even pressed go. Dr. Oh, what's going on? Dr. John S. Smith said, Hope Porter takes Bud 0. I want to see how Bud responds. Yeah, my thing is, look, I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. What's going on? Viper Hill said, Bud will duck the smoke and blame it on Bud like he always does. Viva tu Vita. Yeah, dog. I'm Viva, dog. You know, it's crazy. I was sitting up here like, what the heck is going on? I'm sitting here talking to the chat. There's like 9 people in the chat. The number didn't move at all. So I was like, this is some shit's wrong here. There ain't no way. But Kith White, you have a little hate for, no, I do not have hate for Terence Crawford. I don't have hate for Terence Crawford at all. What I have is low expectations. That's a big difference. Low expectations can come off as hate, but it's no, I just have low expectations. I don't think very highly of Bud Crawford. That's not the same thing as saying I have hate for him. If I had hate for him, that would mean that I wished for him I want him to lose. I want something bad for him to happen in his life, and that's not the case. I don't have any ill will for Terence Crawford, but I do not trust Terence Crawford as far as I can throw my house. I don't. I have a belief. I'm sitting here thinking this morning, like, man, I can't wait for them to talk. Officially announce the fight between Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford. And the whole time I thought to myself, Bud doesn't want to fight him. Bud doesn't want to fight him. It's just an innate feeling that I have. It's that Bud doesn't want to fight him. Bud doesn't want to take that level of competition on. Not to saying that Bud isn't capable of fighting at that level. It's just that I think Bud's a businessman right about now, and he's looking at what's the least reward that I can get, most money I can get for the least reward, so he can continue to get more fights. That's what I think his mentality is, and I think his mentality is that way because of things that he said and things that he's done, not because I have some dislike for him. I don't have any dislike for him. I wish nothing but the best for him. But when his team boasts about getting easy money, I have to think you like easy money. I mean, who would want to get in a dangerous, if you can get 5 fights for $4 million each, why would you take one fight for $12 million if you got a chance of getting hurt or losing in that fight? It's just, I don't think that he's a risk taker in that regard, because he re-signed with Bob Arum. If he was a risk if he was a risk taker, he could have got out of that contract. He could have got out of the contract the last time it was renewed, and we wouldn't have the problem, man. Oh, Southern T Boxing, no worries. No worries. Southern T. At Southern TSKH, you have been followed back. Gotcha. Just followed you back. Yeah, so nah, dog. Keith White, I don't have any hate for him. Now, there's some people in his camp I don't care for because I think they talk, unnecessarily rude, but it is what it is. I have no love for him. I have no dislike for him. I don't have to have a lot of love for him. Just because I don't have love don't mean I got hate for him. I don't. I want to see the guy in good fights, and this sounds like something he doesn't want to do because they had to be forced to do it by taking it to purse bid. And I have a suspicion he told Bob Arum He told Bob Arum he wasn't interested in the fight because he wants the Errol Spence Jr. fight. What's going on? What's going on in Southern T Boxing and Sports? I see you out there growing. And he said, had to make a new Twitter. Follow me back, OG. Yes, I just followed you. Just followed you back, man. Jay Berry said, in your opinion, who will be the next mainstream star in boxing that can reach the heights of Floyd Mayweather Jr.? I think it's going to be whoever it is that really whoever takes over Black America. That's who I think. That's who I think it'll be. It just depends. I don't think you can really predict that. But it's going to be more than likely it's going to be a heavyweight, but we got to get a better environment for the heavyweights. Because until Eddie Hearn stops holding up that heavyweight, all those heavyweight, the heavyweight scene is just trash, dog. So I don't know, because I think that's going to have to you're going to need other stars to be made beforehand. And I just don't think you can predict, like you couldn't predict Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, but I think the people that have the potential, I think Jaron Ennis has the potential because Jaron Ennis has the skill set to dominate at one of the major weight classes, which is 147. So Jaron Ennis has the potential to be that. Virgil Ortiz has it. Honestly, Canelo Alvarez had the potential to do it until Canelo Alvarez went over there to the zone. Because Canelo Alvarez has the ability to become like that if he leaves the zone, because those guys are over there fighting in a bubble for the money, fighting for the guaranteed money. RJ Will said 5 years ago when the contract was renewed, the landscape wasn't the same. 5 years ago, his contract it was not 5 years ago that it got renewed. He got his contract renewed like 3 years ago. And yes, it was. Everybody was already over there. He renewed it after Errol Spence Jr. already had a belt. Errol Spence was going into I think Errol Spence Jr. might have been going into that fight with that Mexican guy at the time. What's the name of the Mexican guy that he fought for a mandatory? That he fought as a mandatory, but it was definitely after the Lamont Peterson. It was after Errol Spence Jr. fought for Lamont Peterson, because Bomac was on Trill Boxing Talk and was talking about how Errol Spence Jr. was living paycheck. I know when it was. It was right before Errol Spence Jr. fought. It was right before Errol Spence Jr. fought. Well, when Manny Pacquiao fought Shawn Porter. Let me tell you when it was. When Errol Spence Jr. Shawn Porter was fighting Danny Garcia. So Shawn Porter. Yeah, it was in 2018. It was 2018. Tank has the potential to do that, no doubt about it. But Tank is in that little weight class, and Tank's got to fight better competition. In order to get like Floyd Mayweather, you got to have like a Oscar De La Hoya moment, and it could be Errol Spence Jr. because Errol Spence Jr. is about to get his Manny Pacquiao fight. And then Errol Spence Jr. could get a fight with Canelo Alvarez. That's the person that I see has the easiest route to it. The other person that has a route to it is Deontay Wilder. If he beats Tyson Fury again, and then he gets that Anthony Joshua fight, on the outside of it, if Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua, then it could be the Anthony Joshua if he's able to beat Tyson Fury. But the problem with Anthony Joshua is he's just not going to have a lot of fanfare. He's not going to have a big fan base or a lot of fanfare in the United States. So more than likely, it's going to be somebody that fights at 147 or somebody that fights at heavyweight. And so my bet is Errol Spence Jr. because Errol Spence Jr. is making the most progress, and he's got that Manny Pacquiao fight. So if he dominates Manny Pacquiao, and then he's able to like get a Canelo Alvarez fight and beat Canelo Alvarez, then Errol Spence Jr. will be that guy because he does have inroads into the black community. Because my thing is in the United States, similar to music, like when you become the dominant person in the entertainment field in the black community, then you cross over and you cross over to white America. That's when you get gigantic. It's the crossing over from black America to white America that makes you gigantic. And you got to have the skill set to continue to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think like Vasily Lomachenko never took off like Vasily Lomachenko hit like his skill set, because Lomachenko can fight his ass off. He's an exciting fighter, you know, and he's a tough fighter. He's not somebody that is going to lose very easily. You know, Teofimo Lopez would have that type of ability to do it, but Teofimo Lopez really doesn't have, like I said, he doesn't have the fan base because, and this is the way that I see it, right? You have the Mexican fan base, and then you have the Latino fan base, and then you have the black fan base, right? Mexican fan base, Mexicans ain't always going to sign up to follow Puerto Rican fighters, for example, or follow Dominican fighters, or follow Ecuadorian fighters. They are more likely, at least this is what I've seen, to really get behind fighters from Mexico, or to get one of those kind of like pretty boy Mexicans. So like Ryan Garcia is somebody that would fit that. But even Oscar De La Hoya, who is, I think, is the biggest star, the biggest Mexican star that I know can recall, never did get to the Floyd Mayweather Jr. level, the Mike Tyson level, the Muhammad Ali level, the Sugar Ray Leonard level. I think it's that unique blend of having, you know, a good amount of the population of boxing fans really behind you, or you get that big lump and then you cross over. And some of the problem with crossing over for like Canelo is a language barrier. So it's not like they can really, you know, like people in America can really get behind him like that because he doesn't speak English. CJ said Bud is going to stop Porter. Then he will come on here explaining why Porter was tougher when Spence part him. Who are you what? How something just wasn't right with him. How Porter needs to switch. What are you talking about? Bud is going to stop Porter. Then he will come on here. You talking about me? CJ, I don't know who you're talking to, man. What's going on, man? My man Richard Hill said, hit that like. What's going on, Noop? Said, hit the like button. Best boxing content. Yes, sir. Gary Antoine Russell and Boots will be on top. Hey, I like that. They're both very good fighters, man. OG, what do you think about Conor Benn's star potential? What's he, 147 pounds? He's an exciting fighter. I don't think he's that good, though. I think it's gonna be. Oh, he's talking to me? Oh, you talking to me? Hold on, CJ. You talking to me? Let's back on up here. Ocampo, yeah. No, I wouldn't. No, you're not talking to me. You're talking about me, and you can get the fuck up. You can get the fuck up, Addy. Sorry. I'm not going to say anything but if they take the fight other than, but let me talk to you while you're out of here. What's going on, Richard Hill? If Terence, first of all, I just don't think he's going to fight him. If he stops him, I'll be shocked. Let me put it this way. If Terence Crawford stops Bud Crawford, I'll pay you $100. I'll put money on that shit. He's not stopping Terence. Terence Crawford's not stopping is not going to stop Shawn Porter. You think he's going to hit him with some leaping uppercut? Man, get out of here. Shawn Porter's a way better fighter than that. And he's not a shot fighter. If he beats him, he's going to have beaten a very good fighter, dude, that has proven time and time again that he's a very good fighter. Come on, man. I mean, that's why you had to get out of here. Don't insult me like that. If he does something great, I'm going to give the man credit for doing something great. It's what it is. I think Manny Pacquiao I didn't think Manny Pacquiao was going to fight Errol Spence Jr. He proved me wrong. Hey, I don't have a problem with saying, with telling you that I was wrong about something, you know, but you with this pontificating into the future about what I'm going to do, I'll come on here and say this and I'll come on and say that. You know what that is? That's just an excuse for that's just making your insecurities known. That you sit there because you're thinking, oh, that's some La La Land shit. He's going to knock out Shawn Porter. Why in the world would you believe that Terence Crawford is going to knock out Shawn Porter? He may knock down Shawn Porter. That he may do, but knock out Shawn Porter? Dude, Shawn Porter is a rough fighter. And if Shawn Porter wants to go the distance against Terence Crawford, he's going to go the distance, man. Terence Crawford is hitting guys, knocking out guys with leaping shots, leaping in. That's not going to happen. And he's not. And by the way, Bud did not knock out. What happened with Kell Brook? Kell Brook was a shot fighter, a completely shot fighter. And if you don't think that that's the case, I mean, come on, dude. The guy was in 154, moved back down. He looked like a shell of himself in that fight. And you can just absolutely look at it and see that. He was a shell of himself before that fight. But still give him credit for the win. You know, it is what it is, though. Richard Hill said, Porter is a tough fight, hard to finish him. Exactly. I don't think he's going to knock him out. Let me tell you, if Terence Crawford knocks out Shawn Porter, I'm going to be tremendously impressed, dude. He said he gave him the deer legs. Viper Hill said, Shawn beats Crawford because Crawford's coming in to try to knock him out, and he's not beating Porter in a rough fight. What I can see is this. The fight that makes me not worried for Bud, but I'm telling you, the Bud gets behind in fights. And if you get behind on Shawn Porter, if you get Shawn... Oh, okay, that wasn't for me. I'm sorry. Casemiro is the next big thing in the sport of boxing. Casemiro's got some game. I was scoping him. I was doing my watching some fights on Casemiro. He talks a lot of shit, but he's got, and he walks around with his hands down a lot, getting a little bit fancy out there, and can get his jaw broke by Rigondeaux. Let me tell you something. If Guillermo Rigondeaux was 30 years old, Casemiro's ass is getting up out of there in 2 rounds. I promise you. Jaw broke. Casemiro getting knocked out of there in 2 rounds. He leaves his hands low. And that is just a bop. But we'll see. He's got a 10-year age advantage. He got a 10-year age advantage on Rigo. But we'll see what's going on. I'm going to start making the Rigo videos about that fight coming up pretty soon, man. Jamal Davis said, Porter has never been dominated and never been knocked out. Yeah, exactly. So I don't get why people are thinking that somehow he's going to get dominated by or knocked out by Bud. But if Bud doesn't, like I said, if Bud knocks him out, I'll say, good job, Bud. I'm not going to act like Bud didn't knock a guy out if he knocked a guy out. I'll give him a credit. Jamal Davis said Rigo is still a beast. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is, man. Hey, much love in that super chat. Get the gong service. Thank you very much for that super chat. He said Porter wins due to level of competition. That ain't no joke, man. That ain't no joke. Oh, yeah. Hit the like button. Let me see. We know you guys get chintzy on the like button. We got 276 people in the building on a Saturday morning. Hit the like button. And all to you 9 guys that hit the dislike button. What do you dislike about this? Seriously. We started this whole debate. We started this whole thing about, and again, Nelson Seals, thank you so much, man. Look, Bud fans, let me talk to you again, okay? I was a Bud supporter. I was. However, it's 3 years in counting. 3 year. Oh, 9. It's 3 p.m. Shout out. Oh, it's 3 p.m. in England. Shout out to England. And I can't wait to watch that fight tonight, today or tonight for you guys with Joe Joyce and Carlos Takam. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you're gonna watch that fight, because I'm definitely gonna check it out. He said they gave you 2 likes. That's how they roll. You know how it is. You know how it is. Yeah, how they do. But look, to Terence Crawford fans, this is how. Okay, that's what's up. Let me tell you what happened. Okay. I was a Bud Crawford fan. I was. Man, again, man, thank you so much. He said, follow Throw in the Towel for all. Follow Throw in the Towel for all Atlanta boxing news. Hey, put it in the chat, man. Go ahead and put your website in the chat, man. This is what happened, dog, with Terence Crawford. All right? It just happened. I was supporting Terence Crawford when he's at 140 pounds, okay? Because Terence Crawford was getting a lot of because he was getting disrespected, I thought, in the pound for pound competition and conversation. Because he had a title at 135 and he had all the titles at 140, right? I supported him when he was fighting Miguel, when he fought, what's his name, Diaz. I supported him when he's fighting Postal, supported him when he fought Ndungo, was making videos about him, all kind of positive stuff about Bud. The whole time, the Boxing Writers Association of America was saying that Bud ain't fighting nobody. They were like, you can't be fighter of the year. You can't. He came undisputed and didn't get fighter of the year. And the reason that they said that was because, hey, they said that he wasn't fighting any tough competition. So it was bugging me, right? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Hey, I said put it in hey, he gave a super chat. He gave a super chat for that. Okay? If you put it in there, you're going to get clipped. I'm telling you. Be careful about all of that. Because we usually don't let people do it. But the guy did it in the super chat. So I asked him to go ahead and put it in there because he's sporting a chance. But it's all good. Otherwise, it'll just keep coming and keep coming. So I supported him for that because they were saying that Bud that's why they didn't have him as pound for pound number 1. And I was thinking how unfair it was that he wasn't pound for number 1. He wasn't pound for pound number 1, and he didn't get fighter of the year. And I thought it was crazy. So I was supporting him, right? Then he moves up to 147 pounds, and then he makes everything they said about him at 140 true at 147. So, I mean, how can I not be, a little miffed at the guy? Because I thought it was just nonsense. Like, no, those are the best fighters that he could fight at that weight class. But then he comes up to 147, and then not only does he not fight the guy, right? Not only does he not fight him, he turns around and says he won't fight him. You know what I'm saying? Not fighting him is one thing, because you could be like, all right, I'm not sure whether or not, it's the other guys or it's him. But when he refused to call out Errol Spence Jr., it was like pulling teeth to get him to say he wanted to fight. Does anybody remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember how hard it was even to get Bud to say that he wanted to fight Errol Spence Jr. The guy, he literally wouldn't say it. It was like for 2 fights, he would say, yeah, you know who I want to fight. Like, no, I don't know who you want to fight. Who do you want to fight? Well, yeah, I want to fight who everybody wants me to fight. You know who that is. No, I do not know who that is. Bud, will you say that you want to fight Errol Spence Jr.? Then he very hesitantly, with a lot of hesitation, went ahead and said, oh, I want to fight Errol Spence Jr. But then, as soon as Errol Spence, he started saying he wanted 50-50 for the fight. Then it's like, Errol was like, 50-50? I'm not giving you 50-50. 50-50, how about 60-40? And if anything, and if not that, 70-30. And then after Errol said that, Bud is like, I don't want to fight him anymore. I don't want to fight him. Dog, that is Bud making Bud look like he don't want to fight nobody, man. And it's been like 6 years since he's had a tough competition. 6 years since he's fought a guy that everybody in the top in the welterweight division wouldn't beat. Everybody. Shawn Porter would beat the piss out of Kell Brook right now. Promise you. Errol Spence Jr. did beat Kell. Would kill the Kell Brook that came into that ring. Yes, he's just a completely washed fighter with 2 eye sockets broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bud beats a Kell Brook that literally has 2 broken orbital bones. You remember this? Gennady Golovkin busting their orbital bone. Then Errol Spence Jr. bust his other orbital bone. And after that, I mean, how much you think you got left? How much you think he's got left in a fight? He was scared to get hit in the face. He was like wincing he just didn't want to get hit in the face. He got a paycheck and he walked out. Same thing with Amir Khan. Amir Khan faked a knockout, got hit with a low blow. And then pulled out. Basically pulled out of the fight. It doesn't look good for Bud, man. And that's not me hating on Bud. That's just it not looking good for Bud. Farmer John said, I can't even picture Tank moving to 147 and him cleaning up all the top welterweights and Tank way more powerful than Bud. Nah, I wouldn't say that. Nah. I think that Bud is a much bigger fighter than, and Bud got cracked. Bud for one punch can crack now. I just don't see him setting anybody up. I don't see him being able to set up or confuse Shawn Porter. Because honestly, man, it's kind of at this point in time, I think those top guys already know what Bud is going to bring. But Tank can't move all the way up to 147. He's just too little. The size difference between Bud and Tank is significant. Tank needs to stay down somewhere around 130 pounds. And honestly, Tank didn't fight the best 100, didn't even fight the best 140 pounder. I think he needs to stay down there at 130 and be the best at 130. Man, that's all love, man. No worries about it, dude. It's all good. It's just the only reason I say that is that I keep a lot of people from doing it. Because it winds up a lot of people will come in here and do that. But no worries, man. I got a lot of respect for you, man. Okay, I got that. Let me move and get another question. I'm looking for another question. Bud is way bigger and longer fighter. And in Bud's prime, he was an amazing boxer with a lot of skill. Bud got cracked too. He's just getting older and exiting his prime, in my opinion. Yeah, well, we'll see. I think the biggest hurdle for Bud is like the increase in the level of competition. Because if you look at who he's fought, let me think I can do this here. Man, he's fought a lot of guys. Let me look up. Here it is, Terence Crawford. The problem is for me is that Terence, they got him 27-11 as an amateur. Like, none of this prepares, none of the fights that he has, the Kell Brook fight, the Igis Kalinakis fight, Amir Khan, Jose Benavidez Jr., Jeff Horn, Julius Ndungo, Felix Diaz, none of those fights prepare him for Shawn Porter or a top level fighter. That's where I think you have a problem. It's the level of his competition is what gives me a concern, because what happens when you jump in there and all of a sudden you're really in a tough 12-round fight, right? Something where it's give and take and the guy's not going for your A game, your B game, and you got to go to like your C, or he's got something like he's putting a lot of pressure on you and you can't keep him off you. like, and then you really have to fight his game. Like, how are you gonna, you know what I'm saying? And or he neutralizes your athleticism. That's why I'm saying it's like that's the tough thing for him versus Shawn Porter. However, if he's able to get past Shawn Porter, then I think that he's in a better situation when he fights Errol Spence Jr. because Shawn Porter's a dog, man. And he's gonna make you some fighters. Now, Shawn Porter doesn't blow fighters away, and he doesn't blow people away, and he doesn't get blown away. But one thing that he can do is, man, he can make a fight ugly. And I would see him fighting Terence Crawford in a way that just makes the fight really, really ugly. And what is he going to do? What is Terence Crawford going to be able to do with that real ugly, mauling, grabbing, elbowing, shoving fight that Shawn Porter will bring? Because Shawn Porter gets down and dirty. You know what I mean? That's the difference right there. It's like, and he'll make it an ugly fight. B-Dog said, Kel was shot. His own coach didn't want to train him because he knew he would lose that fight. Yeah, Dominic Ingle. Yeah, Dominic Ingle wouldn't do it. Bomb squad. Shawn is rough and a hard fighter who can maintain what he does for 12 straight rounds. Yeah, that's the pressure that is on Bud that is going to be really, really tough. Now, one thing I want to talk about, but we'll get back to this, Bud, on this is a little bit of a subject change, not subject change, or close to it. Man, I seriously do hope, though, that Bud Crawford, after this fight, signs with the PBC and moves over there, because that would make them have monopoly on the welterweight division. And if they get Canelo, then I think that those guys, they might just get over the hump enough to where all of the major fighters that are available will start coming to the PBC, because they've got Manny Pacquiao. They would get Canelo Alvarez fighting it with them on a multiple fight deal, because you know that he's going to, dude. Metalhead said, brother, get ready to be shocked. Mindset. Hey, I'm not going to be Metal Hendricks. I like that, man. Is that Jimi Hendrix? Like, as in, I like Jimi Hendrix. Brother, be ready to be shocked. Mindset, reach, and IQ in the name in the name of the game. Porter already deleted his tweets. What tweets? I didn't even get to see any tweets. Danny the Great, Devin, DHP. Yeah, all right, that's cool. We'll let Devin Haney promote in here in the chat. Danny the Great. I didn't see the tweets that he left. I guess I'd have to see him. I didn't see what tweets he had about him. What did Shawn Porter say in his tweets? Porter lose to top 5. What is this? Porter lose to top fighters versus he 5'5" and always come up short. He beat Danny Garcia. Yeah, if that's what you say. I remember him being a 2-time champion. I remember him having the WBC belt. He beat Yordenis Ugas. He didn't come up short against Ugas. He didn't come up short against Danny Garcia. Whoever he beat to get the IBF championship, he didn't come up short against them. I think he got ripped off against Kell Brook. Farmer John, much love in that super chat, man. Thank you, sir. Said he beat Brawner. Yeah, he beat Brawner. But you know, Brawner, that's tough, man. DJ Jimmy Whitemouth said, I love your show. Keep doing what you do. Thank you very much, man. Will do. And thank you very much, Farmer John. Harun Hassan said, Fannon, Bud wants the smoke, but you always been a Bud hater, so it doesn't matter like that. I have not always been a Bud hater, dude. I didn't start getting on Bud until Bud made it readily apparent that he didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about it. He said, don't do it. No, I ain't going to do it. If you talking about going in on him, I ain't going to do it. No, man. Look, oh, yeah, man, get the likes up, man. I know we got, come on. Hey, look, can we get 300 likes in the building? It's in the United States. It's early Sunday morning. Bud, hey, look. Bud Crawford is the greatest fighter that there is. He's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Bud Crawford really does want to have fights against the top welterweights. And it really doesn't matter that he says that he doesn't. Do you see what I would have? Let me tell you the structure of an argument. So I said Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Thank you very much. You get the point. It's today, damn it. Look, there's no argument in defense of Bud. I cannot figure out how to make an argument in defense of Bud Crawford. It doesn't work. Every time I try to do it, it doesn't work. What am I going to say to the fact that he said that he didn't want to fight Errol Spence Jr.? Nothing. There's nothing I can say. There's no retort to that. He said that he doesn't want to fight. On Akin Barak, he said it didn't. He said it may not even matter if he did get 50-50. He's past the fight. He said he had something else big coming up, which is supposed to be the Manny Pacquiao fight. Now I understand that he didn't. My understanding is, at least I haven't verified this, that he was the one that didn't sign the contract for the Manny Pacquiao fight. If that is true, then he didn't want to fight Errol Spence. He had an opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao, and he didn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao. What am I supposed to say about that? Seriously, Harun Hassan. I'm going to wait for your comment. I'm going to wait for you. Please tell me what I can say about that. Unless you just want me to lie. You want me to lie and say that didn't happen? Or just ignore it? I'm not his sister. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be like, Bud, you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe that's what I should say. It's something that I don't know about that must have happened behind the scenes. Because there's no way Bud would ever turn down that fight. Bud must really know what he's doing. I guess that's the best. Yeah, that's the best argument that I can make. King Third Eye Supreme said, hey, Fannon, why couldn't boxing put Oscar Valdez up against Bud Crawford? Because they're in different weight classes. Oscar Valdez is at lightweight, and Bud Crawford's at 147. That's two weight classes. They're like two weight classes apart from one another. But Oscar Valdez is the fight that I want to see for Gervonta Tank Davis, or have Gary Russell Jr. move up there to fight Oscar Valdez. All of a sudden, Oscar Valdez is a hot commodity because he beat Miguel Berchelt. But I'm still not sold on Oscar Valdez. He gets cut up and beat up too easy. Dark Ski Lord said, Bud bitter at Spence. Seriously, guy that says I'm a hater, where's your answer? That's it. Fannon, you have absolutely no idea what you're saying, man. I get this. I know what I'm saying. I'm saying that Bud Crawford said that he didn't want that fight. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard Bud Crawford say that he doesn't want the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Just put a 1 in the chat, and then we'll see how many other people don't know what they're talking about. I'm telling you, there's no logical argument for Bud. None. Because Bud said he didn't want the fight. I need to get it. Come on, I mean, seriously. That's a lot of ones. That's a lot of 1 in the chat. That's a lot of ones. I know I saw at least 30 ones. So what are you talking about, Harun, Hassan? It seems like I know. You got a 2 from Fat Bald Englishman. I know you baiting me, Fat Bald Englishman, by the way. I see you baiting me. You ain't getting what you want, dog. I like your name too close. Windy City Assassin in the building said 1. I like that name. Look. Oh, I know Champside does that. I've always done salute 1. I've always said press 1 and press 2. I've been doing that for years though. I just don't do it as much, but I do. I've been doing it for years. No bite there. So just wondering. Yes, I see. Fat bald Englishman. I see you got me giggling though. I'm telling you, inside when I see you, I'm like, I ain't gonna give him the attention that he wants to get, but I will give him a shout out for a good effort. You know, I'll give you a shout out for a good effort. Daryl Lewis said it's Bob Arum's fault. Bud ain't scared of nobody. You seen what happened when Floyd and Arum. Man, stop believing in Arum. He didn't. No. Doesn't work. Bud is the one saying he doesn't want the fight, dog. Bud said it. Okay? Bob didn't say it. Bud said it. Okay? Bud said it. When Bud says it on an interview where Bud is asked what Bud thinks, that's on Bud. Do I have a Tyson Bell? I don't know what that is, man. Yes, sir. Chi-Town boxer, Chi-Town finest, and a boxer trainer. I give gongs to Chi-Town because that's my home. That's my home turf. I love it. I love Chicago. So, say exactly. Richard Hill said, Bud said it 100%. So, since Bud said it, sorry, Fannon, I meant Virgil Ortiz versus, oh, okay. Why wouldn't boxing put Bud up against Virgil? Oh, because I don't know. That surprises me. Honestly, that surprised me that they didn't do that, man. The Virgil Ortiz. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can. Yeah, hey, thank you. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz is nice. But see, Virgil Ortiz got a problem. It's called a Jaron Ennis problem. But Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis is what I'm thinking. But I don't know why they wouldn't do that. Why they didn't do it. I was kind of shocked. Because they moved Virgil Ortiz to the number 1 ranked position in the WBO, and then they moved Shawn Porter to number 2, but then they mandated the number 2 guy. Maybe, he wasn't available because he already had a fight with Egis Kalvanakis set up. So I think that's what it is. And plus, Virgil Ortiz didn't want Terence Crawford this early in his career. It's too early in the career to do that to Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is going to lose that fight. Virgil Ortiz is going to get outboxed. I don't even know. Will we say he got outboxed? I think he was probably going to get I don't know if he would have got stopped, but, you know. He said nobody wants to smoke from Ortiz. Hey, that boy can go, man. That's a big puncher. I like Virgil Ortiz. Yep, Ortiz is fighting Mean Machine. Yep, no doubt. DJ Jimmy Whitemouth said, I don't think Crawford could beat Danny Garcia because of the level of competition. I don't know. I think that would be a really good fight, though. I think that would be, and I think, honestly, that is a really good fight. Man, what is going on? Bumpy Thompson in the building. You know what? If I see Bumpy Thompson, where Bumpy Thompson? There you go. I'm going to get this moderator back to Bumpy Thompson. It won't, I know it. I can't because, you know what? Damn it. Oh, man, you know what I got to do? Bumpy Thompson, hold on 1 second, Bumpy. I got to do something for Bumpy Thompson in the building. 1 second. Got to pull it up on this screen. Bear with me for 1 second. Got you. All right, Bumpy. You got your wrench back. I was waiting for you because Haroon, your mods put me on timeout. Can't have a back and forth with you. There was nothing to be said though. Don't worry. CB, come around a little bit more, and I might give you a wrench. Come by a little, Steve Taylor. Come by, ask me that in the next live stream, Steve Taylor. James Pickens said Danny would be taking a real bad beating against Bud. He lacks speed, accuracy, and the killer instinct they match. Hey, do not doubt. Do not sire the ruler. Just come back, man. You'll get a wrench coming up. Yes, wrench is people that I see all the time, and I've definitely seen you before. So let me just give it a little bit time. Our Arrow Production said, hey, bro, just came back. That's why I've been MIA. Great work. And I think if Danny comes to fight, he'll get the upset over Crawford, crawfish ass Crawford. Man, yes, sir, L-File player in the building. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Freddie Jackson said Bud probably would get stopped against Porter. He's too rugged and aggressive for Bud. That's why he never took the fight. Bud's last 3 fights, he was losing until he landed the big shot. And my man Sebastian Ramirez said, said they're always doubting Bud. They're always doubting Bud. Straight haters. Come on, man. Keith James said Bud even said at 50-50 he's past Spence. Much love in that super chat. Thank you, sir. Look, the biggest Bud hater is Bud Crawford. If Bud wouldn't say things that make it look like he's ducking fights and being so irritated, then it started like this. He used to not want to talk to media at all. And people were like, you need to talk to the media. You need to talk to the media. You need to talk to the media, right? Because all he would talk to was mainstream media. Then he started opening up a little more. And what Charles Young said, salute to you, man, for leaving the boxing gym. Keep that work coming. Anyway, Bud put himself in this position now. Bud put a lot of work in order to do this. He might have started off hating that Errol Spence Jr. was getting a lot of fanfare, but it is what it is, man. Errol passed up Bud. And that is on nobody but because Errol don't talk like he don't want to fight nobody, except for people like Shawn, like Keith Thurman, and that's not really sticking. You know, people ain't upset that he wouldn't fight, that he doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman is still coming off of a loss. But I would get on Errol Spence if he continued to say that he didn't want to fight Shawn Porter, or that he didn't want to fight Keith Thurman. But Bud fought. But Errol fought Danny. Errol fought Shawn Porter. Errol fought. He fought Lamont Peterson. He fought Kell Brook. Dude, he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence is the dude that is constantly wanting to fight people. And if you just compare who he's fighting versus who Crawford is fighting, it's obviously, man, it's night and day, man. Porter don't have enough pop. Fannon. However, your point is valid. Now, that's where I'm kind of with you, Roderick, in that I don't think that Terence Crawford is going to get knocked. I don't think that Shawn Porter can knock out Terence Crawford, because Shawn Porter doesn't pack a lot of power. But what he packs a lot of muggery. Like, he'll mug the shit out you. Absolutely mug the shit out you. And he'll bang with you too. And he's very slick, and he's very good at forcing people to have really tough fights. And if he's getting on the inside of Terence Crawford and exchanging with Terence Crawford, I like Shawn Porter to get the best of exchanges on the inside with Bud. But Bud has got that one punch power, but I just don't see him really like setting up setting up Shawn Porter for some big fight, man, for some big shot. Muggery, when his ass just mugging him and grabbing him and holding him and elbowing him and all the shit that makes Shawn Porter something nasty. But Shawn Porter ain't really been fighting like that lately. Shawn Porter has been more Shawn Porter has been more of a guy that has been mixing it up between just straight out boxing and fighting on the inside. I think maybe he was, he took personally a lot of the comments about him having fighting too ugly and not being fun to watch. But we'll see. We'll see if he's even taking it, man. Trey Boy 89 says someone laying on you and your chest makes you wear down faster. And he will do that. That man is the king of laying on you, grabbing you, shouldering you, knocking you with his head. That's just a real tough fight, man. A whole lot of... Artabo said, Bud behaves like an evil stepchild. No personality, no charm. Bud is what you call a smart ass. Bud is a smart ass is what Bud is. Black preacher man, told you I got dyslexia. Black preacher man, boxing fan Caleb said, both will touch each other. Much love in that super chat before I read that. Both will touch each other's chin. Who has the best chin? When I take Porter, what do you think? In the scenario that the guy with the best chin wins, then yeah, I would say that Shawn Porter probably has the better chin than Terence Crawford. Because Terence Crawford has been put on wobbly legs when he gets hit on that chin. I also think that this is a problem that Bud will have. And one of the difference between Shawn Porter fighting Bud and some other ones is Shawn Porter's athleticism. Terence Crawford has an athletic advantage over the people that he fights. Like he's got faster feet, he's got faster hands, he's able to get in, get out. Because Bud is a very, very good athlete. He's very strong. I don't think that he has those advantages over Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter, I think, is just as athletic as Bud, and he's just as smart. And he does have an experience issue, because experience. And I say this in a video about my man Errol Spence fighting Manny Pacquiao. Dude, experience really matters, and Shawn Porter has more experience in big fighters, man. Sonny Black. He did it to himself. He did it to himself. He did it to himself. And if people hate on Bud, that's just what it is. But look, I'm going to get out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Everybody. Hey, look. Fat Ball Man. I'm off. Good stream. Be lucky. Hey, man, you guys take care. But look, I'm also going to get up out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Check you out for the conversation tomorrow. And with that, I'm out. Peace.